Check. Is there any... Okay, so we have mic, desktop audio. Let's get that going. Chat. Let me know. Today we're going to be playing Civilization 5, and let me center that camera right there. We're going to play Civilization 5 and reviewing for Chapter 2 test. Music is really loud. Okay. That should help the music. Let me know if that helps. Let me know if the music is too loud right now. I will tell you, there's probably going to be a lot of like screen switching because every time I try to adjust this screen stuff, if I want to go to this other screen where all my lesson plans are, it makes me like completely get off this one. So that kind of sucks. But so we're gonna wait a little bit. You guys should have your questions prepared. We're gonna wait a little bit for people to get in, and then we can start. Just go ahead and, if you are watching, just type something in the chat so I can get a sense of how many people are here right now. Technically, I should have a number that shows me, but I think what I might do is I might just play it on my phone, so I don't have to have the chat up on the screen here. Do we have any other people in here, or am I going to be teaching to 4 people? Let me know. Oh, we got 6. My bad. Significantly larger. I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of this one. You cannot hear me? Let me change that. Hello, can you hear me now? Got some more people in here. If you are in the chat, if you are watching, go ahead and type something in the chat just to confirm that you're here active. I'm gonna wait till maybe we get to hopefully 15. Then I feel like that's a good number to start with, just because then you guys can go ahead and let other people know what they need to know. If we the next few minutes it doesn't get that high, that's fine. We'll just start. It's gonna be pretty focused. I'm saying, maybe we're gonna have 30 minutes. It's not going to be too long. I know I need to get you guys back to other stuff in your life. So, don't worry about that. Let's see. I love playing with a giant map, but don't want to get too crazy out here. We want to have a quick game. So maybe we'll have just a duel, just a little duel, really small map. Go against a normal difficulty guy here. Kind of map type. Let's get Pangea. And super quick game. So, random leader. Well, we probably don't want a random leader, but why don't y'all in the chat let me know what leader I should get over here. There's a lot of them. There's actually just so many of them. I don't even know. Just go ahead and give it the old Google on your own, probably. That'd be better. I just have no idea what even to look for. I'm thinking I might go for a religious victory, because that would make sense. Either that or we're fighting, so I don't know. Should I fight or win by religion? Let me know. Restart the Crusades. Is that even an option? Who would have been the leader for that? Surprisingly, I do not think that there is any like Catholic Church option there. So maybe Isabella? Because Spain, I don't know. Ooh, what about the Byzantine Empire over here, huh? Choose one more belief than normal when you found a religion. Think we might be going for the religion route. Just gonna let y'all know. I think it's time that we start this little game.
All hail the most magnificent and magnanimous Empress.
And let's start.
Beloved of Byzantium and of Rome.
Well, this guy's talking at the same time as I am.
You became the most powerful woman in the world.
Kind of annoying. Okay. So, one thing, looking at the objectives, we've got 3 major objectives. You guys should have put. Wow, that is loud. Let's go ahead and lower those audio options. There it is. Okay. I'm looking at the objectives. Hopefully you guys have already posted all that stuff on Google Classroom, and you're helping each other out. I'll get to grading those. Now, what I want to see, or what I want to talk about kind of first, are the last couple of slides. I know somebody mentioned it. Who's Monkey D? I assume that's referring to Monkey D. Luffy. But I'm going to ask you to change your name. Somebody says, "Sup, Mr. B." That's either Aiden Brown or Mr. KO. But we shall see. Change your name to your real name. So, looking at those last 2. Sorry, I'm scrolling like crazy over here on my other screen. Here we go. So we hit the resurrection, and we're kind of focusing on what the resurrection means. I posted the slides. What's really important is that you look at those videos attached to those slides. The first one was Bible Project looking at Luke chapter 24. And we're asking the questions of, the death. What do the death and resurrection of Jesus kind of refer to in the Old Testament? That first is that idea of if you remember that in the Old Testament it talked about the, what is this? Not only this, the suffering servant with the death, but also the proto-evangelium, that in the death it will defeat evil and bring in new life, right? So you've got that variety, those different options. Man, I'm gonna be real. There's just so many good places to pick here, but I need like a river or something. No, that's cool. Don't need a river. I have no idea of where even to settle. Oh, Snikes. We're found in the city. Oh gosh, what happened? So, sorry, I just got to found this city. Kaboom. Scrubs. So, back to my original thing. Was, what does it point to in the Old Testament? How does Jesus invite us into that new same life, right? When Jesus tells his apostles to go out and baptize and bring everyone into the church, and he's kind of sharing this grace from the crucifixion and the resurrection and all that. He's inviting us into that new life, right? In the baptism, we die like Jesus when we go under, and we live a new life like Jesus when we come out. And so, looking at those apostles living out that new life of Christ, right? That's kind of what we get from the resurrection, is that Jesus is inviting us to follow in his footsteps and to die to your old life and to live in the new life. When you look at, I should probably build something. When you look at, like what things, the resurrection, like what does resurrection mean? You should be looking at that Bishop Barron video just to get an idea of that. Bishop Barron, he talks about, some questions that are important to look at. If you look at the PowerPoint that's connected to that, you'll be able to see all the questions that are on the left side of that video. how do we tend to water down Jesus? Like, oh yeah, Jesus is all about being like a nice guy or something, right? Like, yeah, Jesus is a nice guy, but like not because his whole goal is to just be like, hey, be nice, right? Like that's not it. Jesus is saying like live out who you're called to be by God, and the resurrection is helping us understand that this is a powerful historical event. This is not like a symbolic message, right? Oh, the resurrection, like what does it mean? It's like it means that God entered into the world and overcame our death and was like, let's go, let's make it happen, let's build up the kingdom. Not like, hey, be a better guy, right? Like that. Don't get me wrong, be a better guy, yes, but that's not the ultimate goal. Watch, I'm about to look at this guy. Kapow! Sorry. Oh my gosh, go away. So next, what were the apostles worried about when they met Jesus? They were worried about whether he was real. They were like, holy crap, is this guy a ghost? Like, what's going on? Like, they understood that. They had their doubts. I think that a lot of time in the modern era, when you look at that video, Bishop Barron is like, we tend to be demeaning, right? We tend to like think that they were dumb, but they're not. And that's why Jesus was like, touch my wounds, give me food, right? Like, I'm real. Like, this isn't symbolic. This is not a story. This is, I overcame the dead, right? And so that's kind of the big thing. And so we're getting this idea that like, if God became human, died, and then overcame death, the implications of that are massive, right? It's not just like this nice little symbol. It's that who are we to be afraid of tyrants in the world when like our ultimate destiny is the resurrection, right? Like we can't let injustice just go because and we shouldn't even be afraid because we know that God's got our back, right? That's the idea. So, that answers that next question of what does the resurrection do to tyrants? I mean, it scares the crap out of them. Like you can't control the people that don't fear death because they know that they have new life in their God, right? Like that's frightening. That's why so many empires tried to kill Christians, is because it's scary, right? And then how does Christianity go against the Platonic dualist view? It's that we don't believe that the body or the world or any of this stuff is bad. We believe that it's good, and that's why Jesus came back with this resurrected new body, is that he was saying all of the earth will be perfected, not thrown away, right? So those are some insights that we get. Now, we got some questions. What was the reason why Jesus got baptized? Jesus got baptized to identify with humanity, right? To say, one, like, I am fully human, right? I am like you. But also, not because he had sin, but because he was giving us an example. He was saying, hey, I'm walking with you. I'm suffering with you. I'm living your life. And then as this kind of showing us, this is the new life I'm inviting you into, right? So he was identifying with our humanity and showing us an example. Okay. Now I'm about to show these guys an example when I go pow. Scrubs. Don't even know. What is this? Hold on, guys. I need to see what. Okay, thank you. Citizen management. Yeah, I guess so. Kaboom. Watch that. Kaboom. Kaplow. Stop. Hold on. Oh, do we need to memorize the Beatitudes? Maybe. No. I don't know if I want to. I'm going to say know the Beatitudes. Is it going to be like you have to recite them word for word and type them out? No. It's more like it's going to be matching. So like, yeah, you do need to know them, but you're going to get the opportunity to like, it's like matching. So it's not like, oh my goodness, like I've got to completely write out the Beatitudes. So know your Beatitudes, but know that it's not going to like destroy you, right? What was the point of the Greg Boyle video? The point of the Greg Boyle video was here. I'm gonna go back to that slide actually. Oh my goodness, this slide was far away. Point of the Greg Boyle video was remember that Jesus is inviting all people, right? That the work that he does is an invitation to the world, okay? And that this invitation to the world, Jesus is saying that all people are called to the table, and he's eating with sinners, and he's going to the lowly, and that God has this preferential option for the poor, and that he wants to bring just everyone into relationship with him, showing how this is the fulfillment of the covenants, because now he's saying the covenant is spreading to everyone, right? No matter who you are, okay? So yeah, the Greg Boyle video was more of like a practical, like, hey, this is how we learn to be with other people. Remember, right, theology is not just 100% about here's some facts, here's a test. It's here's a way to learn how to be a better person. So that was the topic that it covered, but Greg Boyle video was more on how to live that out. Let's see, let's get another research going, huh? Pottery. I'm going to pottery. Let me get some of that religious victory. A worker. A worker would be dope. But so would a scout. So we're going to go with the worker. Sorry. Let's see. Okay. I am aware. So do we have any more specific questions? How did adoration and exorcisms and things like that tie into our objectives and what we need to know to do on the test? So it was on the how to pray. So the how to pray was the adoration part, understanding prayer and what adoration is, right? And how it's helping us understand just what prayer is. It's that relationship. And the exorcisms was kind of that mix between what the apostles, right? The call of the apostles and the miracles, right? So exorcisms were some of the miracles that Jesus performed, and it was some of the things that the apostles did after Jesus sent them out, right? So that's why we went over it. It was just part of that. All right, guys. Darn. I feel like we're going. I feel like I want to do. Like fighting would definitely be the most effective. But if we're gonna take this religious route, I'm probably not even gonna finish this. Any vocabulary words we need to know? I don't think I had y'all read from. Let me see. See, the problem is to check, I have to like click. to like click off the screen, which is gonna like be a pain in the butt. This is chapter 2. These objectives, gospels, and public life. I mean, if I didn't ask you to do it before, I'm not going to ask you to do it now. So, no explicit vocab. It's going to be more like, do you know terms that we had mentioned in class? But no list of vocabulary words. You know, just I'm looking through the objectives. If anybody, you know, we have the baptism, temptation in the desert, call of the apostles, the miracles. So that's kind of like the, well, those first two are kind of similar. But then we go on to Sermon on the Mount, parables, and prayer, and then the Paschal Mystery, which is the passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus. Just making sure that you guys understand that when you're looking at the objectives, you need to look at those little subpoints and ask yourself like what your notes say about those things. And then if you want, look at the PowerPoint presentations to make sure that you guys are like getting all the concepts down kind of related to that, right? So the PowerPoint presentation is not meant to be like this all-in-all study tool for you. It's meant to give you like, these are the ideas, and you need to have the notes that help answer it, but it's not going to be like a full answer for you. All right, so we're going to adopt a social policy. We're going to go faith route. We're going to convert everybody. We'll see how that goes. I have pottery. Fight me, because I'll make pottery. How do I... What is this? Silk. Calendar. This is wheat. Do I want to go riding? I feel like it's just not as useful. Definitely going to go calendar. Okay. Any more questions? No more questions? All right, we're going to go through. So, you know, I'm looking at my slides here. Miracles, exorcisms, Call of the Apostles, Sermon on the Mount. That's when we go through the Beatitudes. You there in the Beatitudes, you got to know the positive, negative. You got to know what it's calling us to, what it's calling us out of. The Beatitudes was a big one. We're talking about negative freedom, positive freedom, detachment. So know that. If you got questions, right, ask around. What is the purpose of a parable and the purpose of miracles, right? It's this idea of why is Jesus doing and saying these things? It's not just because he likes doing and saying stuff. It's what is he trying to get us to understand? You know, we had a parable breakdown that was important. Then we had the how to pray. We learned the different types of prayer. We learned, you know, what prayer is really about. I mean, that's important stuff, right? It's just recognizing, I mean, just how significant prayer is, right? I say that, I'm like, man, I'm feeling that right now. I'm just like, man, I need to pray more. I suck. So, just to let you know, I'm human too, and I suck, and I need to pray more. But, let's see, we have, going to the Paschal Mystery. That's a big one, right? Understanding the significance of a God that suffers with you instead of just watching you suffer. That's so important, right? That answers that Stephen Fry video that we watched. Big slide right here. the Passion of Christ and the Last Supper. So when you're watching that Eucharist, crucifixion, and Tamid video, you need to be telling me how the crucifixion is kind of fulfilling these things, right? Otherwise, we're gonna have a problem. Is what I'm saying. We're gonna have a problem. Anybody got any tips? Anybody play Civilization? Oh my gosh, there's barbarians. They're going down. Yeah, that's right. You better run. Key points on the Paschal Mystery. Understanding the significance of like the role that love plays in that suffering, right? What is the role of love? Like how does God love on the crucifix? And how do we know that God loves on that crucifix? You know what I'm saying? So that's a big one. Understanding the cross. Let's see. So we have Anselm's theory of satisfaction. Remember that we have this great big debt because we've offended God. Hold on. Because we've offended God. And it's not that God is like abusive, not that God like demands payment, but that God is saving us from going down that path that we put ourselves in, right? It's that it's out of love that God seeks to make us right with him. But like the problem is that like we don't realize how bad it is. And they don't realize how bad this is. Kapow! Scrubs. Should I do shrine? Or granary? Oh, snap. Maybe a scout? Huh? I don't even know. Gotta go shrine. Absolutely. What's going on here? +1 faith. Boom. Got a worker, huh? Got a worker. Oh, you suck. This guy, huh? Oh, yeah. He doesn't even know. Oh, looks like they're mine again. Scrub. I'm gonna write. Yeah, I know I need more military. Or do I? Can I convert barbarians? Okay, what was I talking about? Anselm's theory of satisfaction. Be important to watch that video. Guys, there's so many videos here, actually. Just talking about that. Key points to Paschal Mystery. Well, you got to know what the Paschal Mystery is. You got to know kind of, when we see the passion of Christ, understanding suffering, understanding love. When we see the death on the cross, we got to understand the Old Testament references to the sacrificial lamb, to the Eucharist, the connection to the cross and the Eucharist, the Tamid, right? That's that bread and wine sacrifice. And then in the resurrection, understanding this new life, right? That God has overcome death and how that references the Old Testament as well. I mean, those are kind of the big things that you need to know about it right now. Where, I'm not asking you to be biblical scholars on it right now, but, the idea is understand kind of what's going on, the major themes that are going on, right? You know that. I mean, you'll be able to pass the true false multiple choice and free response questions for sure. Sorry, I have no idea where my mouse was. Hmm. And then let's see. Is there any other questions that we have? What specific videos do you think we should watch? Well, I'm gonna be real. It sounds like you're asking a lot of like, tell me exactly what's on the test, and I can't tell you exactly what's on the test. But what I can say is that if you feel like you don't understand a certain concept that well, then you should probably watch the video associated with it. But if you're trying to get me to tell you like, hey, this is what's on the test, I don't know, bud. Don't know if I can help you like that. How do I found a pantheon? Oh, nice. What is this? What is this silly stuff? Pagan stuff. Ridiculous. Any more questions? No more questions? What is the test format? Oh, standard format, man. It's going to be multiple choice, maybe some matching, true, false, and then free response. Like always. It's always the same. No surprises there. Look at that. I can write. Oh no. Barbarians, man. They're wild. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna build that guy. And should probably build walls or something. But I need more faith. anybody have any more questions about the test or about any of the concepts that we've covered? Gone over it briefly. If you have any specific questions, I'll be on for maybe like 8 more minutes. Gonna get off at like 9:50. Just let me know, and I will try my darndest to help. Oh, you butt. Oh, what a guy. That really grinds my gears. Oh yeah. Anybody, man, I was like really focused on that game for a second. Anybody got any questions? No? Let me tell you how my day was. A little stressful. A little stressful. It's Saturday, and it still somehow managed to be stressful. Ridiculous. It's alright. You know? You're not gonna fight those guys? Come on, scrub. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna make it. Is it freezing? No, it's not freezing. I'm just a scrub. How was y'all's day, huh? How was y'all's? It was Saturday. Y'all are teenagers. Y'all must have done something cool. Why do we need to know about Jesus and socialism? Not necessarily a super important concept. It was more of how people can misunderstand that Jesus is trying to make these really like significant political claims. I was more concerned about building up the kingdom of God and challenging people's ideas about human dignity. Not necessarily about starting a revolution in the government, right? The idea is how people twist things to mean things that meet their goals instead of exactly what Jesus is talking about. So that's like the watered down Jesus who's like sunshine and rainbows and be a nice guy. And then on the other side, it's like the Jesus, the revolutionary politician. It's like, no, it's about God and your relationship with God. So that's what that was about. In case you were wondering, which you were. Making another settler. Oh no. Barbarians. Oh, I think we may have gotten the dub on that one, gonna be honest. Oop. That's not good. That's right, scrub. Hmm. Oh no. Getting my butt kicked. Hmm. No more questions. Debatable. Oh darn. That is not good. Sorry, what? What's going on? How y'all doing? Oh yeah, I thought, didn't I finish that question? How's y'all's day going? What'd y'all do today? What kind of life are y'all living? Let me know in the chat so I can like get to know you and stuff. Dedoy. Do 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 do. Oh, I got another warrior over here. Oh no. What? What happened? Why do they keep messing with my stuff? Why did Jesus help some but not all? Well, remember the idea is like if Jesus was completely focused on, and there it's like physically, right? Like if Jesus was only focused on making your physical life just feel that much better, then he would have just been like kaboom, you're all fine. But it was all about like fulfilling those Old Testament prophecies and helping people grow in their relationship with God. Like that was his primary goal. And so it it wasn't about, you know, healing this guy's blindness. It was about showing people that, hey, what does it mean to truly see, like this guy's faith? Like he sees God, right? And he may not see people because he's good blind, but like he knows God. And so that was more focused on like what is the goal of miracles. So it's getting pretty late. It's getting to be that time. So if y'all don't have any questions, I'm gonna be getting off in maybe about a minute. You know. Is that Stonehenge? Do I have Stonehenge? That's pretty cool. How do I use faith? I wanna buy stuff with faith. Can't do it. Alright, guys. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this study session. Hope it helped you a little bit. It's the goal. If you have any other questions, definitely talk to each other. Definitely look at the videos that people made about the subjects that we've covered. You know, not complicated. Letting you guys know what you need to know, right? Those videos are super helpful. Watch the videos. That's good. Peace. Oh no.